Alright guys, I'm sure this is what everybody's been waiting for. I got a nice calm day. Nobody's out in their yard right now to think I'm a weirdo talking to you weirdos on Facebook. We're going to be talking a lot about, well, dirt and compost and germination rates and all sorts of fun stuff. So hold on to your boots, pilgrims. I'm going to start you guys out like I start my chores and my morning walkabout. And here's the bed of poppies I've got. Those are California poppies right there, and well, I got those to come up in about 9 days, which is, it's actually, it's a pretty big chore to get poppies to come up out of the ground. So for those of you that know, but needless to say, it's going to be a little bit before this looks like anything really substantial. There's a lot more work left here. This little guy hasn't been up out of the ground very long yet, and I'm happy to inform you that that's, well, Belle of Ireland. I don't know how it's pronounced Bells of Ireland, I guess. I don't know, somebody can look that up for me. But I am how the females say all sorts of feeling myself, because I got these to come up in 11 days, and it sounds like they're pretty difficult to get to come up around here. But what I have had is a cool season, so the cold stratification really probably is what helped. Here I've got some sunflowers, and we're going to pan out to my right here. As you can see, I've got two different colors of flags here. That's because I did some interplanting, but you guys are going to have to, well, either drive on by or keep watching to find out what I did with this, but I think you guys are going to really like it. Just moving right along, I'm not getting too crazy about doing perennials this year, but I do have a row of mums coming in right here, which these were started months ago. They're Robinson red mums, and they are very white trash mulched in right now with bark, because I've got pretty much unlimited access to yard and garden waste right now with it being springtime. So, I mean, it's a really good way to keep carbon going back into the ground. That's a huge part of the nitrogen cycle. So there is actually a method to the madness here. Moving along through here, I've got a little berry bramble started. I'll be honest with you guys, it's not doing so hot right now. I don't know what needs to happen, whether I need to be more patient or whether I need to transplant this stuff when it's a little warmer in the ground. But I mean, I do have a couple raspberry bushes that are doing good. This one in particular, I have no doubt this is going to be a good producing one. It's a black raspberry that I actually got out of somebody's yard here in town. And we'll kind of pan over here. I'll explain what these trellises are for here in a minute. But what I actually want to talk about is this potato hill here, which is going in way late. It's fine. You know, people succession plant potatoes, at least the people that are serious about growing a ridiculous amount of potatoes. And the ground temperature right now, well, this morning I took it at like 48, so there's really not a whole lot of sense in getting in a real big hurry around here right now. And you see I've got all these melon and squash mounds here, and they're all just sitting fallow. And that's because the ground temperature just hasn't gotten up there to where I'd even want to put cucurbit seeds in the ground. So, I mean, it's a struggle, but I mean, what do you do? This row of onions is doing pretty good. And out here to the left, there's a row of leeks here. And to the right, there's another row of onions. And those last two were actually started from seed in my house. It was a fun project, and honestly, I just wanted to tell people, yeah, I've started onions from seed. Am I ever going to do that again? Probably not, because I could have just went to Earl May like I did with this center row here and get a bundle of, say, 50 onion starts for $4, stick them in the ground, and they're already that big. It's kind of a no-brainer. But, you know, it was a fun little experiment. Over here, well, this first row was my first row of spinach and lettuce, which this is actually lettuce here, and it's probably kind of difficult to see. They're just little guys right now. And, oh, there's some color right there. There's some red ones in there, too. It's kind of festive, you know. And this other row right here was planted 10 days later, and it's actually got spinach on the opposite end. I'll walk on down here. I'm going to show you guys my spinach that I'm honestly really impressed with. Got hailed on Friday, so it looks kind of ridiculous right now, but we've had a good, 2.5, 3 inches of rain in the last week maybe. So all things considered, it's doing pretty good. This row right here is kohlrabi, and it's kind of slow to come up in the sense that it doesn't all come up at once. Some of it actually started coming up in 6 days. So again, all sorts of feeling myself. And here we've got beets, which are just little guys right now. And I think I could have, well, I know I could have packed them in a little tighter, but we'll see how this does. I'm gonna regret it when I'm weeding later, but I mean, what do you do? And this is gonna be carrots. They haven't even been in the ground for more than, I don't know, maybe 5 days now. Nah, it's probably closer to about 8. But on the opposite end of the row, I am succession planting radishes, which are coming up quite nicely, and I'm having to, well, just about every day I kind of walk through here and weed it a little bit. And as you can see, my rows got a little bit wonky right here. That's okay, I'm just gonna leave those in. I'll just do my other row of radishes right here, you know. That way I don't have to harvest it all at once, because I don't want to go from, well, I don't have any radishes to, well, now I've got 55 gallons of them, I don't know what to do with it. But again, what do you do? Those of you that know me know that I love my spaghetti, and being a bachelor, yes, that's right, ladies, I am on the loose. Well, I ate a lot of spaghetti, and these are the butt ends, well, actually the crowns off of some green onions that I bought, I don't know, maybe about 2 weeks ago, and I decided, you know what, I've been seeing it on like Instagram and the YouTubes and all that, and I'm gonna try it. And so far it's been pretty fun. I actually went and got more green onions the last time that I went and got groceries so that I could plant more of them, because I think over the summer I'm just not gonna spend money on onions at all for my spaghetti. It's the finer things in life, right? But here we have, well, this is all going to be nightshades, or at least the majority of it. I'm going to have all of these white flags represent where a tomato is going to be, and I'll fill out the rest of these trellises with, well, it's going to be peppers, and whatever's left over I'm just going to put string beans in it. It's you know, it's a good nitrogen fixer, and they interplant really well, so it's kind of a no-brainer. I actually needed a significantly less amount of T-posts than I had originally thought, and well, every single one that you see in the ground right now is actually donated to me. So I mean, you got to hand it to small communities. A lot of people think it's boring, but when all you've got's each other, I mean, people will come through for you, especially in your times of need. All right, guys, now we're going to get into what really is my pride and joy currently, which is my container garden. Back here we've got strawberries in the green tubs. You're probably wondering why these sumps are stabbed in these. That's because we got about 1.80 inch of rain yesterday in about 10 hours. And I came out here to check the drainage on all of this because I dig furrows because, well, hard work pays off, and everything out there was well. But everything here was swimming, and so I took a spade and I popped a sump in the side of every single one of them and had some washout issues, but we'll manage. And honestly, you're going to understand why it was as bad as they were here in a minute. But here I've got, well, this is thyme, and it's doing quite well. I've got spearmint here, which I know the people that love mint juleps are going to probably be coming and getting it from me, which is cool. I didn't get as much sage this year as I would have liked to. This stuff seems really finicky. I don't know why. It's either I'm doing something wrong or it really is that finicky. Stuff from this family usually is. There's some marjoram that's interplanted in there just because, well, I needed a space for it, and I didn't do a whole lot of it because I don't think it's going to sell particularly well. My plan is to actually dry it along with a bunch of the other herbs that you're about to see here, and I'm going to be making stuff like carne asada seasoning, that's kind of hard to say, and Italian seasoning, so it'll be fun. And this is just plain mint. It was just, well, I figured, no, if I'm going to do spearmint, let's do plain mint too, just because. I don't know how well it's going to go over, but honestly, when I run out of spearmint, I'll just start selling this to the people that want mint juleps. And in here I've got parsley. There's not a whole lot of it actually coming up. And that's kind of the way this stuff is. It's another one that doesn't really germinate real crisp. So I've still got probably another 2 weeks to wait before I have to start worrying about anything. And honestly, I think everything will be fine. Give it another week, get a little heat on it, it'll be fine. And this is dill. It's, well, as you can see, the soil in here kind of slopes a little bit, and so I've got better germination in the back than I do in the front. I should have done a better job of leveling that out, but I think it'll be fine in the end. It's just this stuff is probably going to germinate later is all, so not much to worry about there. And here I've actually got cilantro coming up, which kind of surprises me. I figured the parsley would come up before the cilantro did, but it is a cool season crop, and it is coming up. Albeit not as quickly as you would like it to, because a crisp germination usually means that you got it in at the right time and you did everything right. So, I don't know, I might wait a little later, we'll see. But here we have the largest casualty, and as you can see, this one washed out really bad. Oh well, I mean, you do what you do, but the plants inside of here are doing really good. This is Arugula, and it's been thinned. I might have to go through and thin it again, but Mother Nature's doing a really good job at damping off a lot of it, so probably not. Oh, there's a weed. This is, I think it's pennycress. I don't know. I just know that this is some of the first stuff that started coming up, and it's everywhere. Here I've got oregano, which already seems like it's starting to spread. It's, this stuff is, and I can tell it's already growing. The sage is too. And this is rosemary, again with the white trash mulch job. It's just what I have available to me, and honestly, if you mulch something like this, you're gonna get a lot better product at the end because it doesn't get as dirty. And I've got some coleus plants out here that are just hardening off. It's kind of brutal to be doing it this early, but these are also the two oldest ones that I have, and as you can see, they are quite weathered right now. But I mean, they're doing fine. So I mean, they may look haggard now, but they're gonna kind of they'll hit their stride. They're basically in their, I don't know, their gawky teen stage right now. So I mean, it is what it is. Now this right here is probably going to explain to you guys why the drainage was as bad as it was, and well, the washout I should say. I stuffed the bottom of all my containers with sticks and grass and stuff like that, and then I cover it with this super clay rich soil that we have here, which honestly acts more like a cork than anything. And well, once I was able to introduce a lot of water really fast down into this, as you can see, like I can just kind of stick my hand in this. I try to mix it up really good to prevent as much of that as possible. And you don't fill them all equally. These are actually filled with different species of sticks and different grasses and stuff. It's just what I have available to me on the day that I decide, well, I need to start filling containers. And for those of you that are not from here, you want to fill them fast around here, because if you don't, they're going to blow into your neighbor's yard, and that's just all there is to it. But here I've got some, well, it's cardboard and great big old sticks. I get this cardboard from like local restaurants and bars, and they're happy to have me come in and break them down for them and take them away, because otherwise they're just going to have to get burned, or they're going to have to pay for another dumpster just to mess with it. And it's just, well, I mean, it's good worm food. It's good for weed suppression. I've been doing it along all of this, which it's going to have to be mulched yearly, and that's fine. But this is honestly going to do a lot of really good things for the soil health here too. Hopefully that'll bring some of the nematodes and stuff that are really beneficial and start to really wake this soil up. But speaking of waking soil up, here we have what is honestly the coolest thing to me that I'm doing right now. This is my compost pile, and it has animal bedding in it. It's actually all chicken bedding, with two different types of bedding itself. So some of it was straw, some of it was the pine chips. I've got lots of coffee grounds just from the local gas station. I go down there after the how you say, coffee drinkers have been down there, and well, it's a good source of nitrogen. So there's also some boxes in here. Old grass, fresh cut grass with a lot of leaves in it. That's really going to add to the heat in this thing. I would like to break this thing open for you and give you guys a really cool like steam visual, but I'm kind of early enough in the stage of this pile that I want to keep it sealed up, because it is, I mean, I can just kind of get next to it here and I can feel the heat difference. So the size here is perfect. The mixture seems to be working well. We'll see how things go. Well, I hope this was fun and informative for all of you. Like I said, I had a pretty good opportunity to do this. It's nice, peaceful out. Nobody's in their yard. Nobody's kids are out just yet. But I do have a couple hours of sunlight left, so I probably should get back to it. Go ahead, hit like, hit subscribe. Thanks for contributing in whatever way it is, even if it is just a view. And, well, if you got any questions about anything that I'm doing right now, just go ahead and hit me in the comments section, and you'll probably get an answer. Thanks.